Never, ever, ever forget the Battle of Blood River. This was a victory, I mean, not without sacrifice, tremendous sacrifice, but I did wipe the floor clean with a bunch of dumb, ugly brutes. Let me say something though. I made some, what I feel like would be tactical errors in this battle, which really comes down to me not reacting fast enough or soon enough, and it costed me dearly. It costed me a lot of guys got killed. The brutes made a few tactical errors, which I'm so thankful they did too. The main one, and I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this, is they didn't ever put a chieftain on the field. Freaking idiots. And if they had though, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy about it. Had they put a chieftain on the field, this battle would have been a whole lot more bloody than it is, or was. So yeah, the last battle, which was the battle in the city, which I do recommend you go see. I did not commentate over it. Obviously, if you've seen it, but that was a really good, clean battle where the enemy nearly completely controlled the map, but I came back. Me and my ally came back, and pretty much wiped our asses clean with the brutes, as usual. We killed them, we wiped them out. You know, we're master tech. I'm a master tactician. I don't care what anyone says. I am good. I've been doing this for years. So anyways, you've ever seen like a movie or an anime or just any kind of scene where like the commander will win a battle, and you know everyone's celebrating, but he's standing there and by himself, just kind of in his thoughts, like, oh, you know, he's thinking about all the shit that went wrong, like, oh, you know, we lost more than this that we should have. We should have done this when we could have done that. Yeah, it's kind of the way I feel about it. I mean, yeah, I won this battle, pretty decisive victory, but I feel like I didn't react the way I should have, and it costed me just more than I wanted to. I mean, literally, I went in debt in this battle. I mean, the battle was so straining on resources that I went pretty much bankrupt during battle, so that's not good. My resources, by the way, are that number up there that's constantly changing, excuse me. Now it's at 8,000, or 79,000. See it? So yeah, if you pay attention to that number, it gets pretty low. Alright, so as you see, I just crossed my forces over the river. They have a pretty good little size force over here, which I was not happy to see when I looked and saw that. I knew I would be able to take it, but at what cost? That base that they're holding right there, whoever controls that base controls the battlefield, period. Which it's too early in the fight for that base to really show its true potential or be at its true potential, but right now, you know, if I let them or give them an opportunity to build that base up and put shield generators on it and turrets on it, I'm gonna have a hard time controlling the battlefield. Which is why I'm moving fast. If you haven't noticed, I'm moving my forces very fast. You know, I've already got 2 bases, and my forces are already on the offense, because I've learned over the years is you need to move faster than your enemy. Having 1 second over your enemy is actually good. I mean, every second you waste, you might as well just go give. You know, I might as well just go hand it to the brute. So I might as well just knock on their base and say, here you go. Here's all the time that I wasted. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys, because there's no difference. So the little battle ensues right here. And one thing I didn't know yet is that they haven't built a temple. Which is, a temple is what you would, a covenant force, which includes the brutes, would use to summon their leader. And a brute chieftain, a brute chieftain is probably one of the most powerful individual units you could put your army against. I've made short work of them in the previous 2 videos. Now, that's with an ally. And an ally, you know, when it's just you, your force is the only thing preventing the enemy from winning. A brute chieftain can clear an army. If you can't, if you don't, I mean, of course you can use a disruption bomb and you can stop their vortex, they can do, but even with that, so the fact that they don't have a temple built, they don't have a chieftain on the battlefield, that is, in my opinion, it's a tactical error on their part. One that is unforgivable. I mean, I just got lucky, guys, folks. I got lucky. And what makes me really cringe a little bit, that base I'm attacking right now, they keep building supply pads. So I guess the Covenant would refer to that as a warehouse, but it's the same thing. Delivering supplies from space to the base. You know what I'm saying? That, well, no, theirs works differently. Theirs like produces energy or something. It's really advanced Covenant technology. All those supply pads could have been a shield generator, a temple where they could have built, they could have summoned a brute chieftain. And that would have pushed my forces out of this side of the river. The presence of a chieftain would have pushed my forces back beyond that bridge. They didn't do it. They did not do it. That's brutes. They're not the smartest, but they're not idiots either. And they send another little force at me right here. It's a pretty good little force. But if you realize, you see them, if you know what hunters are, those guys shooting beams out of their arms, pretty much. Their forces throughout the battle are going to really focus on using hunters in the front lines. And it's really built around hunters and wraiths, which are tanks. So, like, honestly, the best thing to do, because a hunter, hunters can't do anything against aerial units. So if I build vultures, hornets, anything that flies, they're screwed. A wraith, they can shoot at aerial vehicles, but they're not very effective. Throughout the battle, I make the mistake of going heavy on the land vehicles. You know, I build tanks, grizzlies, cobras, wolverines, and that's good and all, but it's not. That's really was my tactical error, was not realizing that they were really their army in this battle was anti-armor, tank, ground vehicle. Anything on a track or on wheels does not need to go against wraiths and hunters. So it took me a while. Eventually I made the call to change my forces to that's later on in the battle though. I went and did that, but right now my strategy is just build a stronger army and then react as necessary on the battlefield. So I've done it. I cleared them out. I'm waiting to build this base right here. That's their last base right there. That's it. If I can take that out, I'll win the battle. Now, so I'm building my forces up on this side of the river.
On the move. Ready, you bet.
Okay, see, I'm pulling my Spartans up. That is so that when their main force comes around, I can pull my Spartans behind them and hijack their tanks. Take that damn tank from ugly ass brutes, man. They deserve a Spartan laser to the face. So I'm just building, I'm getting tanks on the ground here. See some Spartans take those tanks. And I'm trying to secure my foothold on this side of the river. If you look at the map, on the top right of the screen, you can see the river divides the map. I got my 2 bases up here, and now my 1 base down there. And this is really their side of the river, if you can see that. So I'm getting just more and more units. I'm trying to get, like I said, a strong foothold on this side of the river where my new base is, while simultaneously building up that base. It makes the base stronger, and that's what I need. I don't need something that's going to be easily overtaken by enemy forces. So they're falling back, which is good. I fall my guys back. I do not pursue. And this is tragic right here. I get my Spartan back to good health, and then they pull back up and kill him. And then leave. Pisses me off. I don't hate them. I just don't really like them that much. They're dirty. They're really dirty in battle. And then they pull back up. Also, their tanks do have shields. That is aggravating. But at the same time, it's not when my Spartan jumps on that thing and takes it over, you know what I'm saying? Hijacks it, because it's our tank. Still just trying to, you know, build up my forces and get ready to make the charge to attack their base.
Yes, on the move. Grizzly ready to roll. Sure thing. Let's go. There. Hitching a ride.
Again, they're pressing forward and only to fall right into the trap of our tons and tons of firepower coming out of these tanks. I mean, it's a lot.
Regeneration ready. Healing target.
Taking advantage of the home field advantage. I mean, we're playing defense right now, so they have to come and attack us, which is far more dangerous than being aggressive. But you have to be aggressive if you plan to win.
All units.
You have to be very aggressive.
I'm on it.
Alright, so we're heading my army that way now.
Give me an order.
Small skirmish breaks out right here.
Send me in.
Which I don't, you know. Alright, so now we're up the hill. And that is their final base. If I can get rid of this base, we win. No questions asked. Which has a shield generator and turrets. So, yeah. My guys don't care, and we're here to crash the party. Dropping some bombs on that thing. Yeah, soften them shields up real good. Turrets too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get my guys. And we're fighting that good fight. We're pushing up that hill. Damn brave soldiers, man. Damn brave soldiers. So we can't make it quite up the hill. Firepower is just too overbearing. I mean, they've got so much over there. And those turrets are doing work. So we're just kind of pushed that kind of not all the way up the hill. I wanted to keep my forces out of the range of the turrets while we kind of focus on taking out their actual ground unit, you know, the ground army. So they've got some stuff that's going at us. We're making progress though. I decide to hold my forces back wisely. I'm no idiot now. I'll admit when I make tactical errors, but I'm still good at what I'm doing here. Okay? I know what I'm doing here. Let's put it that way. So, building up a lot of armor for this next punch, which at this point I shouldn't be doing that. I should be swapping over from maining fielding an army of mostly tanks to mostly crap. I need to be really getting swapping over to air superiority. I'm still kind of I've got air power certainly there. I've got some Hornets and Vultures, but still my army's built around the tank, you know. And these are Grizzlies. These aren't just any tank. These are tough. These are tough tanks. I mean, you're not gonna break it with the mallet. Let's put it that way. Alright, so I start destroying. I'm starting to get low on resources, so all of the extra, you know, vehicle factories, I'm just gonna demolish them, and I'm putting supply pads in their place because I need that money. I mean, this is an expensive fight right here.
Cyclops, prepared.
And as you see, my resources are down to 1,000. That's not good. I mean, anything below 10,000, that number right there, is bad. It means you're pushing it. So I go ahead and I push up. I need to get this base out of the way. I mean, I need to hurry up and win this before I give them too much time to build their forces up or recover from the push I just made. So I go ahead and I push my forces around the base to get them back where we're not sitting right there in the mouth of the hill, and I give my troops a bit of an advantage. Carpet bomb. I got my tank moving back there, so we got somewhat of a footing back here, and we're just eating them, just putting bullets on that shield, that overshield on that base. And this is that, you know, that first charge wasn't so successful, unfortunately. Just rest easy to the soldiers that died in that first charge. But this one, from putting in work. I mean, I successfully neutralized both turrets they had back there. And as you see, their shield generator's about to be gone. Out of the way, if you will.
All units.
Close, I'm kind of strafing my units back and forth, just keep them out of gunfire, which includes those turrets. I'm sending air units, Grizzlies, everything to go and support back here. And they got like a pincher move where they pretty much both my sides and sandwiched my units there. That was not good whatsoever. So we got the shields down. The base's shields are down. But my units are still distracted by that Wraith and a few other units they've sent after us back there. And ooh, I hate those little flying things that appear to be, what they don't really appear to be, but they are shooting those green beams. Those are engineers, and they're healing every bit of damage I was able to put on that base. Can't stand engineers, because they're reversing on that hard work that we're putting on that base. The damage we're putting on that base, they're fixing. And then if we can't hold our ground down here, that shield generator is going to be pretty much recharged. But I go ahead and see.
Supply pad complete.
Not yet. Never mind. Get a big bunch of units up there, put in some work. Which honestly, this is making me cringe just watching it because, man, this is a tactical area. Okay, I'm back. I had to do some laundry and walk the dogs. Anyways, where was I? Yeah, this second historic push on the hill, okay. Now this was almost successful, but as you're about to see, we do end up getting pushed back, but not quite yet. We get some hits on this base now. Push my forces back. We got the jetpack brutes. It's so painful to watch because we got so many good hits on this base. Oh, we were so close. I mean, like some serious hits on this base. I'm bringing my tanks up and we're just doing work. And next thing I know, pretty much everything's just white. Oh, and we were so close to taking that base down. Oh, man. So I'm destroying more things, trying to make room for more supply pads, supply buildings. I need the resources. I'm running out. I'm at, below 1,000. Look how low. I mean, it's at 100 right now. Now 200. So it's low. I'm pushed back big time. And that was it for that charge. I mean, that was it. They cleared our units. We were so close to taking their base out. So at this point, I really should have been wise enough to say, okay, I need to swap to air superiority force, not ground superiority force. These hunters and wraiths are making short work of my grizzlies. But I didn't quite yet.
Supply pad complete.
I've got a balanced force. I've definitely got air units, but it still is built around that those tanks, which is not. I mean, that's the most detrimental part. This battle could have been over way sooner had I adjusted that. Which I eventually do, but not quite yet. That just, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go and I almost had the base destroyed. I'm gonna go and finish it off after I build my units enough to go back and charge for what should be this should be the third charge up the hill, and they're coming down the hill and they've got force. Not nothing too bad. Something that packs up punch. And I mean, look at all those hunter beams just frying my tanks.
The enemy is producing engineers.
I gotta say, these brutes, they'll give you a run for your money, which I have to say, I like that. These hunters too. These hunters will eat anything alive that's on the ground, which is why I should have been maining air superiority. Building my army around air superiority. Not yet anything I've done. Because, I mean, these grizzlies, I'm thinking, okay, I get a bunch of grizzlies, a well-balanced force, that includes hornets and air units, but I'm thinking I'm going to push up that hill and eventually take their base out. Because the armor is going to be too thick, too many grizzlies and tanks to deal with. They're going to be overwhelmed, but that strategy just didn't work. And I should have already abandoned that strategy after that second push and known to change my strategy, but I didn't. So I'm building up in preparation for the third charge. And they're softening up my units before I even get to charge. Carp bomb them with big.
All units.
You got it. Sure thing.
So we're building up, as you can see. I'm massing my forces right there on the mouth of the hill, and once they're, it's keeping them away from my bases. It's keeping them at their base, but it's also, once we're built up, we can just shoot right up, and once I gather enough forces, we can just shoot right up and take their base. But again, I'm not using the proper strategy to do that. They're simply too strong of a anti-tank force to be building my army around tanks, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I mean, look at how many tanks I've got there. I'm building more. Which, again, these are grizzlies. These are these are tough tanks. I mean, these guys are tough, but not tough enough. Not for all those hunters and wraiths, unfortunately. So I'm almost built up and almost ready to take the battle back to their base. Close.
All units.
On the way.
I think I'm going ahead and making the call right here. Yeah.
All units.
And look at that crap. Their base is back to full health. It's been completely repaired. All the damage I put on it from the second charge, where all those brave heroes died, for nothing. It's bull crap. Look at that crap. Back fully shielded. Yeah. Bull crap. So, making this next push is so painful to watch because I should have fixed my strategy already and I hadn't. I mean, even though we control the battlefield, we still have to be able to break through their fortress and to push them off the map. And see, this is really not just chess in a sense. These battles are rock, paper, scissors. Okay? Whereas you have your air units that beat your ground units, who beat your infantry units. And infantry units are actually really effective. Light infantry is very effective against air units. They have this heavy infantry though, which is hunters, which aren't. So there's variations once you learn how to counteract each unit. You kind of go off of that. So I'm building it back up for another charge. They're just... And now at this point I'm like, okay, let's push back a little bit. Just pain they're putting on us here. At the mouth of this hill. They got their little freaking engineers up there. I send a Spartan up to take that Wraith, and the hunters are just glassing them with their beams. And before he gets a chance, they kill him. Right there. I send another Spartan. Take that Wraith. He says yes sir, he jumps on. Boom. Dead. It's bad. At this point, I finally made, that is a historic decision I just made right there. I built the vehicle, I recycled the vehicle plant to build a air base. Another air base. So I have two air bases, meaning I'm now switching over to maining air superiority, not ground superiority. Big decision, and you're gonna see it in full effect right here when I wipe them off the face of the map. You're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. This is a decision I should have made way earlier. I mean, we're 28 minutes in, and I still haven't. I've charged up their hill what 3 times, and still
Air pad complete.
Everything was for nothing. Those 3 charges. The only thing I really successfully did for the long run in those 3 charges, as sad as it sounds, is I neutralized those turrets that they actually failed to reinstall on their base. And that's their fault. They did, like I said, they made their fair share of tactical errors. The main one, of course, they never had a chieftain on the ground, which that's unbelievable. A skirmish, they tried to come and take my base, which I'm not gonna let them. They're falling back. Honestly, if they didn't fall back right there, they could have did some damage, but they did. I actually think that was an error in their part, them falling back,
All
because now they're
units.
giving me a good opportunity to build up. So, and build back up. They had a good force there, but they decided to pull back. Don't ask me why. Guess they didn't feel like they were ready to take my base. I don't know. So I'm building up again. This time, as you can see, air superiority, not ground superiority. I'm going air force. Hornets, vultures, anything that there's a vulture right there. That big boy. That'll tear some butt up. Tender. It'll glass them. Alright, so I'm just building up. I'm ready to take the fight straight to them. And you're about to see exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about counteracting their forces with air power. You're about to see why that's so important.
Watch for enemy forces near this base.
All units.
I'm building up for that last historic charge. Thankfully, this charge is going to be remembered for
Yes. Hornet, good to go.
how clean and victorious and successful we were here. See, engineers, so stupid. I pull my Spartans up. I'm ready. If they bring their main force down to counter my main force, I'm gonna pull them out of that tree line and I'm gonna take their wraiths, hijack their wraiths. The little tactic I employed here, defensive tactic.
All units.
I go ahead and make that call. We're going up the hill.
All units.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're pushing. There they are. I'm telling my Spartans, take that wraith. All those, they took that tank out. All those hunters can't do anything about my fly right over. They have no turrets. They failed to rebuild the turret defenses. This is where they messed up. Vultures slamming them. Hit them with the carpet bombing. It's bad. Good for us though. Their army simply is not built for fighting air superiority force. That's how we're able to just slide. I just saw them, they just slipped right past all that crap. Shields down really quick. Those vultures, those guns. Look at that. Just making short work of them. Alright guys, here's the honorable final Spartan to die in this battle, this battleground. He's right there. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to clean up, and the hunters are just blasting. My air units don't get to him in time. Final Spartan. Rest in peace. God, hero. God. And that was damn near another Spartan about to die right here. He doesn't die though, he lives. He's about to jump heroically as the hunters glass him in the back. And take that raid, which he does successfully. And they hurry up and build their base back, but forces can't save them. And we remove them off the battlefield. Oh!
You are victorious.
And that was that. Thank you for watching.